What's up, guys? Agent Shrifty back again. This time I'm going to be talking about stealth builds, and I was mentioning in my previous video about talking about the Aura Whisper Dragon Shell. You know, I was talking about, where to unlock them, all 3 locations, and get those unlocked as fast as possible. So here's what I'm going to be showing you. I think the most beneficial way, especially if you're going to be going with a all-out sneak, stealth and doing it maybe a little bit of illusion magic. Illusion magic is really dope, especially if you're going to be like using invisibility more than like using the muffle. I particularly like using muffle very early on, but right now I'm on the helm of trying to find the muffle enchantment on some gear, specifically the boots. For any, whether if it's a heavy piece or a light piece of gear or armor, excuse me. But anyways, I was using a mod to where that you can do instant level mastery, so you can be able to level up most of your skills, especially for a stealth build. You can do your pickpocketing, you can do your lockpicking, you can do your sneak, you can do your light armor, you can do your archery. And you can do your one-handed. I use one-handed as a more of a backup type of thing, but I'm more leaning towards the archery tree because archery in this game is freaking broken. It's massively broken because of the fact it's more powerful than one-handed and shield, especially if you're going to be going all out, doing like a warrior type of class. Like I say, this game is based on to any kind of character build that you make, whether if it's a stealth build, warrior, or mage, you can do whatever you want. That's what's nice about Skyrim. I liked Oblivion, but Oblivion was more on the lines of, its leveling system was very, very specific. It was condensed, and it was very obtrusive. It was very, very difficult to level things out very equally so you can get the +5 in each and every skill that you're going to be able to work on in that game. So the reason why I went basically 5 out of 5 in Light Fingers, Night Thief, or extra, but basically like the 5 out of 5 in Pickpocket is because they're, especially with the stealth build, there will be missions towards that you have to pickpocket certain people in order to obtain certain type of unique loot, or that for that matter. Lockpicking, I went all the way from novice locks to apprentice to adept, expert locksmith, and unbreakable, only because of the fact that it's very, very difficult to. I mean, yes, you'll be able to level up from novice to master, but you got to have so many lockpicks in order to be able to achieve to unlock, difficulty chests throughout the entire world of Skyrim. Sneak is a very, very powerful tool. Other than what I've mentioned in archery, is because it's a very beneficial thing, to where you want to use. Archery, like I said, it's utterly fucking broken because it's all about what the perks that you're going to mostly invest in. Obviously, you want to go into overdraw 5 out of 5. Critical shot, it's nice, especially when you're going up against tougher enemies. Eagle Eye is pretty good. I like it because so that way you can be able to do some sniping from afar. And then Power Shot. Power Shot's really nice because it says arrows stagger all but the largest opponents at 50% of the time. That's rather nice. I mean, because so that way you can be able to benefit of having that proper motivation of bringing down the tougher of enemies. I didn't progress any further because I don't feel like it's necessary. Let's see, what else did I talk about? Speech. Speech is pretty good. I went 5 out of 5 in haggling because, I mean, yeah, I might have like a lot of money on me right now, but still, it's very benefit to have the speech, I think. But it all depends on what you want to do. Alchemy, I don't do that much of alchemy, only by, making fortified smithing potions or enchanting or whatever. That's really nice, especially if you want to do something like that. I went an illusion for. I still do it, especially for invisibility. I don't specifically like making the invisibility potions because it takes so much to make those. But going into illusion, if you're going to be using an instant mastery level up mod for PlayStation 4, I believe it's for Xbox One and for PC. And you can go all the way up to Animage, Kindred Mage, and then Quiet Casting. Quiet Casting is definitely one of the most important perk, especially if you're going to be, casting that illusion spell. Whether if it's like a Master Illusion or Master of the Mind or Rage, it quiet casts your spell. That's really nice. I really like that benefit of that. I don't do any of the other stuff because I do have a mod installed called No Magic Cost or something like that. That's nice, especially if you want to do like a mage build or the build that I'm doing, which is a stealth build with some illusion. I didn't like it when my magic was constantly draining because of the illusion spell. I found that as a very motivational benefit for that. So enchanting, if you want to do a lot of enchantments, obviously I highly recommend going to Enchanter 5 out of 5, Insightful Chanter, Corpus Enchanter. You can help health, magic, and 7 enchantments on armor for 25% stronger. And then the extra effect. Now here's what's nice about extra effect. It really benefits of putting more than one enchantment on on the same item. That's awesome. I really recommend that. And so, heavy armor, I will be going into heavy armor when I get further more into the DLC, especially with the Dawn Guard or the Dragonborn, because I'm not going to be doing any stealth in those because, I don't know, it just seems like not necessary. Let's just put it that way. So I decided to level out my heavy armor as well. I leveled out my smithing so that way I can have better perks for my smithing, the heavy and the light side. So, and here are the mods I'm actually going to basically get down to a run through here. Which ones I am using per se. I found them very awesome and cool at the same time, and a little too more of a benefit. Come on, load please, thank you. It's taking a little bit, my apologies. Here we go. I went with Star Thieves and Assassin mod, especially if you're going to be going with that, Thief and Assassin build, especially with the Khajiit or with a Bossman or Wood Elf. I went with the enchantment level up. This is really awesome. It'll be able to put you can enchant more than 1 or 2 items. Faster leveling, I really like this, especially very early on. It's nice. No magic at cost for any spell, which is what I previously mentioned about, being able to do like any type of thing you want to do, especially when it comes to magic. Obsidian Weathers, this really makes the game a lot more vibrant and colorful throughout the world of Skyrim. It's definitely a lot better than from what vanilla Skyrim looks like, especially with either if you're playing the special edition on PS4, Xbox One, or PC, or playing the game back on the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360 days. I went with the Looter's Crow Thief player home because it's utterly badass. I love it. I use it for anything that I want to be able to basically use to put stuff away. So infinite chest, cheat chest. I used this very early on, but I don't use it all that much anymore. But I prefer to just keep it downloaded so that to my understanding, it basically respawns everything. I think like every 3 to 4 days. I don't know if I'm right about that, so don't chastise me either way if that's true or not. So craftable everything special edition, I covered this mod in a previous video. I think it was the past few months of this year. Weightless dragon bones and scales, this is very nice, especially if you don't want to have that if you don't want to have those burden you with weight. unlimited rings and amulets. Now this is the cake of everything. When I was mentioning about, you know, you putting more than one enchantment on a same piece of equipment or item, you can definitely put more than one enchantment on your piece of gear, or your necklaces, or your rings, or your gauntlets. I put Kato's Whiterun, Riverwood. I have stronger standing stones. That's really cool. You can use that very early on and very late in game, especially if you're playing the game with mods. Resurrection, I actually find this very helpful, especially if you're going to be, if some very useful NPCs that are going to be to your benefit of trying to, you know, finish quests or anything, or whatever. I think that's awesome. Amazing race tweaks, Wood Elf. This is very awesome as well. I mean, I think I already have this at the very top of the order, don't I? No, I don't. Okay. This just recently had an update, so I updated it, and it's definitely, what's really nice about this mod is that it shows you right on screen. You know, it shows you the, you know, it's very pros of what this mod does for your, especially with the Wood Elf. I went with the Kato's Falkreath, Kato's Iverstead. I previously downloaded this called Peacekeepers of Skyrim. It looks pretty interesting. I'm trying to figure out what exactly it does, but I'll definitely let you guys know if and when, if I ever like encounter these types of NPCs throughout the world of Skyrim. So I thought I'd share my mod list and just see what you guys think. But see, oh, that's one more thing. Excuse me. Now, here's what's awesome. Now, if this is something that you really want to invest in as well, it's when I was talking about the mods specifically, I went, you know, you can see my ring, the bow damage, the lock picking, the one-handed, and the pickpocket. It's the same thing with my bracers. I went with the disease resistance by 100%, increases poison resistance by 281%. Silver necklace. Same thing for what I showed you with my gauntlets and with the ring. Same thing with that one. And the reason why I called this the antique eye is because I just came up with it. So I thought it would be kind of cool. And then I made a hood called Thieves Guild Hood of Mystic Archery. I like the word mystic because it just sounds awesome. Bows do 45% more damage, allow swimming underwater without drowning. Now that's a very benefit and beneficial, or whatever you may call it, to if you want to do some underwater exploration as well, because there are going to be certain areas within the game of Skyrim to where you have to, you know, do some swimming a little deeper, and so that way you don't have to worry about your oxygen. So, anyways, I thought I'd share everything all about this and what I truly think really makes a capable, valuable, very strong stealth build, and vice versa. That's another thing I forgot to mention is the Aura Whisper. The Aura Whisper is, I think, one of the most benefit and very crucial elements of a stealth build character. Whether if you're going with the Khajiit or with the Bosmer, the Wood Elf. Excuse me, I keep on saying that, my bad. It's a lot better than the Detect Life spell tome, because you're basically going to be using this. Don't use it in a close vicinity of enemies, because they will hear you when you activate this shout. So be careful. You might want to do it before you go deeper into a cave, or when you're doing like a quest and you want to know where all these enemies are. That's the way to go. And another thing about Aura Whisper, it's nice, it's actually very nice early on, like I mentioned in my previous video, or you can even do it later on in game. I'll probably won't be using it like in the Dawn Guard and the Dragonborn DLC, because of the fact that I practically almost know everything nook and cranny of this game. it's pretty close. I mean, I remember putting over 300 plus hours in the game when I played the game on my PlayStation 3 days. But now, since they did a remastered special edition for this game for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I was ecstatic. I was so happy because it's just like, I mean, granted that there are other open world games that are captivating in their own unique way, but Skyrim to me just feels it's a game that I will always end up going back to all the time because of the fact it just has its own way of sucking me in. This game just sucks me in as a whole, and it's just fascinating. So there you go. I just thought I mention about the Aura Whisper and its benefits of its own tactics, and in terms of finding the enemies, knowing where they are, so that way you don't have to worry about being bombarded with the tons of enemies in front of you. So yes. But anyways, stay tuned, guys. More episodes here of Skyrim Special Edition or any future videos at Agent Swifty on YouTube. And I am out. Take care, guys. And once again, Merry Christmas and close to a Happy New Year.